Hey fellow photographers, what did you shoot today? So this channel has just hit over 100 subscribers, which is a big deal for me, and I really want to show my appreciation. So I'm going to be giving away one of my prints. So stay tuned for details. Now 100 subscribers doesn't sound like a lot, but it means a lot to me, and it actually comes with some changes for the channel as well. For example, YouTube now lets me have a custom URL, so now I can be found at youtube.com/thescienceofphotography, which is great for branding. If you follow that link, you're going to reach the channel's main page, and what I've done is I've organized different sections of playlists that are actually broken down by category and units, and that's kind of how I want to do things going forward. I want to structure the channel in sort of educational topics. So you'll notice there's some introductory videos, there's some things about pinhole photography, and then we talk about aperture, shutter speed. So we're breaking everything into units, and the core of this channel is really there to provide information and, really scientifically correct, accurate information, probably more detail than anyone needs, but I'm a nerd, so it's fun talking about this stuff. And I really want to provide that level of education for those that are interested, because I really think you can benefit a lot from knowing the inner workings and details of photography, because it's just as much science as it is art, and it's really a big passion of mine, and I really like knowing as much as I can about something when I'm passionate about it. So I'm definitely going to continue with that sort of content, the educational content, going over the fundamentals, but I also want to do some topical content as well, kind of like the recent Polaroid videos that I released talking about sort of the leading up to the announcement and the actual announcement of the One Step 2. And those topical videos really help because it's people are searching for those things, it drives traffic to the channel, more subscribers, more views, and that's a big help for the channel. So that stuff is going to continue as well. So if you're new to this channel, and maybe you got here because of the Polaroid videos that I made, stick around, take a look at sort of the channel page and hopefully you can learn something. If there's something that you want to learn about photography, let me know about it. And we're going to make videos about those topics. There's so much to cover. I have a lot of ideas for content. It's just, a matter of sort of putting it out in a sort of logical fashion. We're starting with the basics and we're getting more and more advanced as we go on. So if there's something that really interests you, let me know, and we're going to get there eventually. We're going to cover a whole broad spectrum of things related to photography. So just as a little preview of things to come, this Friday's normally scheduled video is going to be about the 7 P's of photography, and it's kind of a mindset and workflow that I do for self-reflection when it comes to taking photographs that I really care about. And having fun taking photographs and taking snapshots is one thing, but when you want to be serious about your work and you really want to improve, you have to put yourself in a mindset and follow, a certain rule set and guidelines to sort of make sure that you're going in the right direction and not just sort of trying to get lucky when it comes to the photos that you take. There's plenty of other stuff and resources on YouTube about Lightroom tutorials and Photoshop tutorials and lens reviews and this kind of stuff that's going to tell you, certain techniques and skills to get what you need, but you really have to put yourself in a frame of mind that I want to take better photographs, and this sort of system that I've developed helps me do that, and it really helps to self-critique and self-reflect my work and get the feedback of others in order to improve. So I hope you stick around for that video. It's definitely been a very passionate sort of video of mine that I wanted to make, and I hope that you sort of buy into this philosophy, because I think it can make the photography community better as a whole if we start trying to really care about our work and care about our work in a very thoughtful way. So after that, we're probably going to go and talk about exposure more, which is kind of the unit that I left off on, and we're going to talk about different metering modes for your camera, the exposure triangle, the true exposure triangle. We're going to talk about that nasty little thing called ISO and what it really does to your camera, what it really does to your digital images. And then we're also going to talk about sort of the exposure when it comes to film and how that's different than the digital era. Of course, my pre-order for the Polaroid One Step 2 is going to come in sometime mid-October, so we're going to have a little video about that. And actually, I want to do a rigorous testing, and I picked up some old Impossible Project film. So I'm going to directly compare under very controlled lighting conditions and sort of stereotypical shooting conditions, natural light, out with your friends kind of stuff that you normally take a Polaroid out and have fun with. I'm going to compare side by side sort of the two different film emulsions, see if the new emulsion is actually better. It is a new emulsion, so it's pretty exciting, but how much better can it be? The bar is set pretty low for the Impossible Project film, so any improvement is better, but what kind of quality are we talking about? So I really want to put both the Polaroid One Step 2 and my SX7, the old model, through a rigorous amount of testing with color correction and all that kind of stuff, and really taking some pretty setup shots in studio, as well as some lifestyle shots, and compare between the two film emulsions. So I think that would be pretty exciting for people who are interested in the instant film realm of photography. I'm also going to be shooting a local fashion week, so I'll bring you guys along for the ride and maybe do some vlog style videos and have some friends help me video me while I'm actually shooting, so you can kind of get a sense of what photographers do in the moment. And I think that will be a little bit eye-opening as to sort of the process. And we're also going to implement that workflow, that sort of philosophy that I talked about, and sort of talk about the steps needed to get to that point and what you should expect for final results from projects like those. So after those videos and the exposure videos, I kind of want to start a new unit on film photography, and I think it can be beneficial to a lot of people to learn how to shoot on film and the importance of film photography. And it's not necessarily for the reasons that a lot of other people, sort of the cliche reasons you hear, oh, it makes you slow down, it makes you think, and that kind of stuff. That's all fine and true, but I think the main part about film photography that's most important to me, and why I'm so passionate about it, is because it's such a more hands-on and tactile experience than shooting digital. Digital is come and go, it's very fleeting, but you really feel attached to your images when you shoot them on film. And I want to elaborate on sort of my philosophy about film and why, if you're a serious photographer, you want to have some sort of experience. You don't have to, you don't have to shoot film and then continue shooting film like I have, but I think you should have some sort of appreciation for the process, at least on the very surface. And we're going to talk about some easy ways to get into film, just if you want to try it, and I think everyone should. So when it comes to that, it might not be a topic for everyone, but I think there's definitely some transferable skills between film and the digital era that really can apply to everybody. And you really have to sort of pay respect and pay homage to the film era, the negative positive process, because it's dominated photography for so long. And photography's lifespan, from the late 1800s until now, digital was only a part of that in the last maybe less than 20 years. So the great history of photography has been on film, and I think there should be some sort of respect and appreciation for the old process. You don't have to use it, and if you're a digital shooter, that's all fine and great. But I think that everyone can benefit from sort of, again, going back to the fundamentals of photography and learning the way things were done, especially on film, which is such a, maybe unforgiving medium. You have to get it right in camera, or at least, process it in a way that is going to produce a negative that you can print from, versus spray and pray with digital and fix it in post, which I think is a really sort of bad attitude to have towards photography in general. So with all that said, I'm really excited for the future of the channel, and I want to sort of extend an invitation. Please invite your friends, subscribe to this channel and follow along, because I think there's a lot to learn, there's a lot to cover, and really getting an appreciation for the science behind this art that we're so passionate about really can only help to improve our knowledge base and really improve ourselves as photographers. So that's my goal. Thank you for the support again. So let's get to this sort of a Sweepstakes giveaway that we're gonna talk about here. So I'm always asking you what you're shooting, so it's only fair that I present some of my work. And I'm going to be giving away a print. It's going to be an 8x10 print. It's going to be matted to 11x14, so I'm going to send you the print and the mat. So it's ready, it's a standard frame size. It's ready to go into frame if you care to frame it. And these are digital images. They're inkjet prints. Maybe eventually on another sort of sweepstakes, I'll give away a real darkroom print. Probably after we've done the film unit, I'll probably give one of those away. So that's another reason to subscribe, is stay tuned. And I think at 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a film camera. So tell your friends now. Get in on the ground floor. So these are all photographs of Arizona, which is where I am right now. And yeah, I think, well, you be the judge. You tell me if you like them or not. But how this is going to work is, unfortunately, it's only going to be open to the Continental US, because shipping is going to be a logistical thing that I have to take care of. So 48 states. If you're in the US, sorry for all my international viewers. According to YouTube analytics, about 2/3 of you from the US. So it covers a broad spectrum, and in future giveaways, I'll be sure to sort of make caveats for international subscribers as well. But how you're going to enter is you're going to leave a comment with where you are in the United States. So you have to be honest about sort of where I would ship this print, and you have to be from the US, shipping address in the US, and what print you want. So there's 5 to choose from. So the first up is what I have titled Light Beam 1. This is from the Upper Antelope Canyon in northern Arizona. And this is taken in the summer. So in the summer, these slot canyons, the sun is high enough in the sky that during certain times of day, you'll get these actual light beams that fall through. And, you know, just out of coincidence, this isn't edited to be this way in any way, but it kind of forms a heart shape at the bottom, which I thought was pretty cool. So this was to a recent trip up to Antelope Canyon. So this is Light Beam 1. This is one of the choices. Next, we have a sort of more abstract view of the canyon. This is the lower canyon, and this is taken in the winter where the sun is not as high in the sky. So because the sun is not as high in the sky, you're only getting sort of the glow of the sun on the top ridge, and the sort of whatever is in shadow actually does have these blues and purples and other sort of colors that aren't necessarily that golden color that you saw in the last photograph during the summer months. It's been a little bit enhanced with the saturation and stuff in Lightroom, but these colors do exist, and it's actually really interesting to see that different times of the year produce different views of the canyons. This is called Colors of the Wind because it's the wind and water that have actually shaped these slot canyons. Next up we have Heart of the Canyon. So if you look up during a certain part of the upper canyon, you have a carve out that kind of looks like a heart. So that's why it's called Heart of the Canyon. Choice number 3. This one is a pretty recognizable and famous sort of Lady in the Wind is the title of the more famous version of this photograph. Mine is called Into the Wind. But, you know, it kind of looks like a figure, you know, and maybe hair blowing back. So it looks like someone facing into the wind with their hair blowing back. Another great shot from the upper canyon. And the last one, which actually I think it's actually an Apple MacBook default wallpaper, but this is a little different because this is taken during the winter where you get those blue tones. I call this fish out of water, so it kind of looks like the shape of a fish or some, you know, Aquarius animal. And yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different than maybe the wallpaper that you've accustomed to, and you know, all these are shot by me. So nice blue and sort of pink tones in there. So again, these are all 8x10 prints. They're framed and matted, I mean, not framed, but they're matted to 11x14, so they're ready to go into a standard frame size. So again, I just want to show my appreciation. I want to, you know, send you a print that I've made. You know, I've spent time on editing and going out and taking the photographs and kind of practicing what I preach when I tell you to go out and ask you what you've shot today. So in that spirit of presenting tangible photographs, remember, we're talking about actual things in print that you can hold and you can touch and you can feel and see, not just things on your Instagram feed. So in the spirit of that, I would like to give one of these away. So let me know which one is your favorite of the 5. You can either put a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or the title of the piece that I mentioned, and I will ship it out to you. So with that said, remember, just tell me what print you want and where you are from, and it has to be in the United States. Again, sorry, my international crowd, but there will be future endeavors where I can get things shipped to you guys. And I just thank you for the support. Thank you for, you know, it's free, right? Clicking a little button to subscribe, it's free, but it means a lot to me, and I want to show that appreciation. So again, you know, until next time, as always, happy shooting.